What's up, YouTube? Ride along with us as we go to the Nemo Tunnel and Catoosa Wildlife Management Area. This trip to Nemo Tunnel in Wartburg, Tennessee started off a little bit different than our normal ones do. We started at night because we only knew we were going to have a couple of short days to explore the area. We knew we wasn't going to have a lot of time when we got there that night. So we went ahead and reserved a campsite at the Rock Creek Campground just across the river from the Nemo Tunnel. This is also where we met up with our new friend Walt. We woke up to a sunny but crisp 17-degree morning. The river beside camp was beautiful, so we had to go down there first thing to check it out and get our first good look at the Nemo Bridge. We found this campground to be very well kept and pretty easy to get in with a smaller vehicle. If you had a larger vehicle such as a Class C motorhome or something, you'd have a hard time getting in here. This is the National Park Service campground, but it's not one of the 5 designated camp areas in the Catausa WMA. You have to reserve these sites online, and it's $10 a night. After we packed up camp, we made our way over to the Nemo Bridge. The Nemo Bridge crosses the Obed River. It was in service from 1930 to 1999. It is one of only 2 national parks east of the Mississippi that is an international dark sky park. It's also now currently used for visitors to get a view of the amazing river from above. After the Jeeps got the required pictures taken underneath the bridge, it was time to head on to the Nemo Tunnel. As we pulled up to the tunnel, we got to see a train go through the new tunnel. We took a few minutes outside to admire the outside of the old tunnel and to let some in our party get their nerve up before we went inside. It was then time to make our way through the tunnel. The Nemo Tunnel was constructed in 1876 and was active until 1963. 2,200 feet long, 20 feet high, and 15 feet across. It was decommissioned because the trains of today would not fit in. This is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Hey, Alan, this would be a place to test your siren.
He said he was going to.
Battery on my remote control is cold and I can't turn it on.
Or you get it on and can't turn it off.
That or you get it on and can't turn it off. gosh, we should have disconnected our sway bars for this.
Yeah, and aired down.
I'm sweating like a mother.
Big difference, huh?
Yeah. Oh God, it stinks in here. Oh Lord, nasty. I'm sweating. Feel my head.
See daylight. After we made it through the tunnel, we did what we always do. We picked up a bag of trash to leave it better than we found it. We then made our way back toward the blacktop along the river.
I just said that I was telling Walt that if it was going to be rough like this for very long, I would have disconnected the sway bars, but since it's just a short section, I'm not.
Watch this rock pointed out here, Alan. Wait a minute, Walt. You don't want to get any higher than that. Come on, straight. Straighten out just a little bit. There you go, right there. You got a little more passenger.
The trail getting back to the blacktop is not very difficult at all, and the scenery is almost as good as going through the tunnel.
Nancy says the moss is natural graffiti.
Yeah, I like that graffiti a lot better. After that little loop, we were back on the blacktop and on our way to the Catoosa WMA. It didn't take us long at all to find the Catoosa WMA. The Catoosa WMA is made up of 82,000 acres of wildland just west of the Nemo Tunnel.
No.
In WMAs, you never know what you're going to find. We thought we had found a parachute,
It looks like something.
but actually it was some type of tent that was protecting trees. One of the things that we were hopeful for but didn't really expect was to have some snow on this trip. It had apparently snowed a few days before we got there. It was a welcome surprise and we enjoyed the contrasting colors. This area has a lot more trails than it does roads, and we'll get to those later. But we wanted to get somewhere up where the sun was, have an early lunch since we missed breakfast. We decided to stop and check out the old Pilot Knob fire tower. I did some research on it, wasn't able to find anything other than a picture of it dated in 1942, so I really don't know how old it is. But I can tell you, the view from the top would be amazing. This 360-degree view shows you what it would have been like years and years ago to be able to stand in the top of this tower and look all around what is now the Catoosa WMA and far, far beyond. After some time checking out the tower, we decided to have lunch and get back on the trail. And this is when we found trails rather than roads. The trails here are not tough or challenging, and they're not intended to be. This is primarily a hunting place, and that's what it's best used for. But it is nice to be able to get out, drive around on it, and explore some of the nature. If you are looking for some hardcore wheeling, there are some OHV parks in close proximity to this area that you could go check out. It wasn't just all ridgetop riding. There were a few stream crossings thrown in as well. It was starting to get a little later in the afternoon, so we decided to start looking for a campsite.
It's closed.
Area we wanted to go to was across this bridge, but the bridge was out. There was a road through the river. We did have Kelly to use as a guinea pig, so it was up to me to give it a shot.
It's like rock crawling in the blind.
I decided it may be a little bit too rough for the other two Jeeps, and it was definitely too cold to get out in that water if we had to hook line to somebody. I decided to come back across and we would look for another spot to spend the night. As the sun was setting, we found camp. Alan and Nancy set up the walls for their OVS 270 awning, and we all got under it to try to stay warm. Deb had made homemade chili for dinner that night, and Alan and Nancy decided to put their tent up underneath the awning for an extra layer of warmth. They had also bought a propane fire pit, which worked great under the awning. So that has sure saved us this weekend.
So warm.
The next morning was frosty and cold. I think everybody stayed pretty warm overnight though. You know it's cold when the water you pour into your coffee pot, as soon as it hits the metal, it turns to ice. As I cooked breakfast this morning, Alan and Walt continued to chat and get to know each other. After breakfast, it was time to tear down camp and get back on the trail.
we put the bumper on, that it rides differently with a heavier bumper in the back?
Yeah, you probably added about 70 pounds to the back of it. And it would definitely make it ride different.
Yeah, and on this kind of a road, I do notice a difference with the sway bars disconnected.
The plan for today was to hit as many of these dirt trails within Catoosa as we could before we started making our trip back home. Some of the trails we found today were definitely a lot narrower than the previous day's trail.
Should I move it?
It did eventually open back up. Down or up?
Doesn't matter to me. Down would probably, I'm trying to connect into these here.
Okay.
There is nothing.
It'll go down,
What?
it'll connect into there. Go up, more than likely it'll come around and connect
And
into
it-
there.
And then we could go up this road or any of them. Okay.
You don't always have to have a plan. Sometimes you just pick a direction and go.
Right or left? This looks like it goes out and hits
It
the
ends at
river.
the river.
Yeah.
And this one comes out. Looks like it may connect back up.
Yeah, I think it does. It makes a loop and then comes back over. That would be
Okay.
good. Where's that at? Go right then?
Yeah. If you watched very many of our other videos, you'll know for us it's all about the journey. And that's exactly what we were doing here. We was just getting out, seeing what we could find. You never really know what you might find. By mid-afternoon, we had made it back to the Nemo Bridge, and this is where we decided to have lunch. After sitting around and reflecting on the past couple days' adventures, we decided that we all had a fairly long drive ahead of us, and this is where we decided to end the adventure and make our way home. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Coddiwomple Overland. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.